At this point on our channel, we've made it pretty clear that we love unicorns. So here's another unicorn cake. Ow! Hey Cakenistas, it's Marisha. I was asked to do a floral unicorn cake, and I thought that this would be perfect for the spring because, well, you know, spring. Unicorns are just year-round. We appreciate them every day, all day. I think my first unicorn cake that I did was probably at like a 70%. I think this unicorn cake is at like 100, at least a 95%. If you haven't done so yet, I'm going to ask that you please subscribe to the channel. I just really need you to not just knock on the door and watch from the door, but you're gonna actually have to come in. You can also leave your shoes at the door, please, just so that we don't get the carpet dirty. Just click on the notification bell while you're at it. We have a great time here. It's like a party while we're baking. It makes sense. Let's get started.
Another unicorn day. It's another unicorn day. Oh.
Okay, Cakenistas, I'm gonna start putting my cake together. I'm doing 3 layers. For each layer, you're going to see that I'm gonna level it off and then just put it onto my cake board with a little bit of simple syrups to make it moist and delicioso. This is my other cake, which I'm splitting in half, and I'm going to add my buttercream filling and apply each layer. It's like there's like an ugly stage sometimes, and this is it. It's right after that crumb coat or right before the crumb coat. It can go either way. Once you get past that crumb coat phase and you let it refrigerate and harden, then add your final layer of frosting, and then you let that refrigerate. Oh my goodness, you've got something remarkable. Now I'm going to apply a little bit of pink frosting at the bottom. Later on, I changed this pink frosting out because it's like a hot pink, and I wanted a muted pink, so you're going to notice that the pink is a little bit different later on. I just put that at the very, very bottom of the cake and blended it in. Now this is going to be for my horn. This is actually a wooden cake dowel, and I probably left about 5 or 6 inches of dowel at the top, and then I just snipped off whatever extra that I didn't want, rolled out some white fondant, and I swirled it around that stick. And you do have to squeeze and push it together to make sure that you can't see any of the stick in between. Now I'm going to use my favorite gold luster dust. I mixed my luster dust with some alcohol, and I got a great shiny gold paint. And while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and make the daisies for my unicorn cake. Very simple, just a petal tip and white buttercream. You can pipe as many or as little petals as you would like. In the center of each flower, I put a whole bunch of edible pearls. And then you're going to put that in the refrigerator for at least 10 minutes to let it harden. I did my unicorn ears freehand, starting off with white fondant and then the muted pink fondant. I'm using a toothpick in the center. I'm going to put my ears aside to harden a little bit and start to pipe out my rosettes. I'm using a 1M tip, and I'm starting with the muted pink color. Again, you can now see that the base is actually that same pink color right there. So we're going to start to make our mohawk look. I always start off with the center front rosette, which is that one just right there, just very randomly in the front. And then I just go back from there. Now before I get too crazy deep into my decorating, I'm going to apply my ears. And then I'm going to go in with my next color, which is also a muted blue. And I think this is such a cool design because although it's spring, it's not pastels. It's really just muted versions of the ones that you would typically use for unicorn colors. As you can see, I'm using a couple different types of tips. I wanted to have a good variety of tips, and I'm only using about 4 colors. I made some that kind of look a little bit like something poisonous that you shouldn't really touch in the wilderness, as you can see. As I'm like losing my imagination, I just started making very, very weird flowers that I intended to cover up, but I actually forgot to. Like that one right there, I don't know what that was, but let's just pretend like you didn't see that. So now on go my daisies to top it off so eloquently. I'm even applying a little bit of buttercream to the back just to make sure that it sticks, because I did put this cake in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes so that everything will harden so that I can paint on it. I'm using the gold paint in a very thin paintbrush that I only use for cakes, and I'm going to paint on my eyes. giving like the unicorn a very good wing liner effect and a little bit of an eyelash. And this is the finished unicorn. Covered in flowers and florals. I think this is like the mature version of a unicorn cake. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I like it. Couture in the springtime floral unicorn cake. Bye guys. If you're a unicorn loving cakeista, then I have other beautiful unicorn videos for you. We've got the Starbucks unicorn inspired frappuccino cupcake. Oh, and then the unicorn cupcakes. Those were cute too. So I will leave all of those videos in the description below, as well as my frosting tutorial, just so that you guys know what kind of frosting I'm using. Fluffy and delicious, of course. And yeah, so click beside me, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my OMG foodie channel for foodie videos, and I will see you guys soon.